Good evening, everyone. This is GrandDungeonDad, um, Grey Wolf, back with another video review on Altered Online on Roblox. So I've been playing this game a bit more with my son, with his friends, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed. There's a lot of reasons for that. I played a lot of hack and slash games from the Microsoft Dungeon Siege series to Diablo, all the Diablos. Even gave the mobile one, Immortal, a shot. Like just about any hack and slash that's been out, I've played at some point or another. And I think at least for the Roblox platform, I have to say this is probably the best one that I've played. And there's a few reasons for that. I covered some of that stuff in the last play I did. I'm gonna go ahead and play solo here. Jump into something while I'm talking. So just real quick before I start the dungeon, we'll go through a few things. So as you guys can see, my character has leveled up to level 26. And I've changed a few things around. But just to go into the game, um, I have a bone spear, I guess, is my weapon now. It went from a sword. It looks like melee characters can carry a number of different weapon types. I have this legendary that was given to a friend of mine, and he traded it to me to try out when I get to 27. He decided to go mage, so he gave it up. So I'm going to give that a shot when I get a little bit higher level. But just in general, the things that really impressed me about this game, a lot of it has to do with the graphics on this game. And it's as much of a style thing as it is anything else. Let's lower the ambient down just a little bit so it's a little bit easier to hear. But basically, the particle effects in this game are really good. The blood effects are pretty good for something on Roblox. And it's not like, when I say blood effects, I don't mean anything beyond, what you would find in your typical G-rated title. It's not that bad. Nothing compared to like Diablo or something like that. But as you guys can see, if you've played Roblox games before, you don't often get the depth of color that you get here. Just with if you look at this lantern, just the effect of the lantern. You can also zoom in and out on your character, and the detail level of your character, even when zoomed fully in, this is Roblox, right? This is basically three-dimensional, but typically more blocky than anything else. That's why it's called Roblox, right? And this is pretty good definition for a model, from what I've seen on this platform. And I have to give the developer credit for that. They did a great job. Now, I'm not going to be in a boss fight in this dungeon, probably because I think this dungeon's still a little bit high for me, and I'm probably going to get my butt kicked. But that's not a bad thing. The fact of the matter is, the dungeons that you go into are pretty hard as you level up. You're not just getting a free pass like you do on a lot of Roblox games. There's a degree of difficulty here that scales with your gear. And like as you guys can see, I mean it scales pretty aggressively. I mean, you look at the damage I'm doing. I've got pretty good skills, and I'm getting my butt stomped by these guys. Now, caution that these are like mainly melee um, NPCs here, so they're gonna be strong against my class. But I mean, this is just like what the second time I've been in this dungeon too. So I have a long ways to go gear wise before I'm gonna be able to be um, just whacking my way through this dungeon. I'm just kind of in here just to show us an example, and I could go to the first dungeon, probably do the same thing. I probably will do that eventually, but I wanted to show you guys just how the difficulty scales, like from one dungeon to the next. And I am nowhere near where I need to be. I'm even a little bit below the recommendations, so I'm not surprised that I'm getting my butt kicked here. But I guess my point is just that um, this is not necessarily an easy game. It's challenging. You could kill these mobs, but they're considerably harder based on where I'm at level wise. and that makes sense. I shouldn't just be able to breeze through these mobs. With where my skills are at, where my health's at, everything. But I can't tell you how many Roblox games I've played where they're literally even solo play. They're not challenging. They're not challenging at all. The mob AI is terrible, and you don't see that with this. The mob AI is really good. I mean, they swing at you. They get around your counters. There's a boss in the second dungeon that actually, like, the part of the boss animation they add in the second dungeon is the guy actually picks you up, shakes your guy around, and then tries to bite your head off before throwing you back down. And it does a pretty good bit of damage, but it's just such a cool animation to have in something as simple as this game, and have it work the way they do. Like, and I've seen very few bugs in this game. I don't think I've had any considerable lag. I've never had any graphical issues in this game. Um, it's just a really solid game to be on something like Roblox, and I have to give the developer a lot of credit for that. And I am definitely going to play more of this. Definitely want to showcase more of it for you guys. And I want you guys to check it out. I've played a lot of games on Roblox that I consider very good. You know, Voxel Blade, Project Stardust, some other stuff that just has a ton of depth. I really like the. I tend to go more towards the games that have a lot of depth. But I mean, like, even these mobs. If you guys remember my other video, I didn't have melee mobs throwing things. Like, this is kind of um, a new effect for this level, right? It's a new thing. So, they add stuff to it that definitely increases the difficulty as you go, and that's cool. That's something you don't see a lot of times in games like this, or at least games on Roblox or Minecraft. So it's kind of a cool thing. And I died, as I said I would. Oh, back alive. Live, didn't realize that. But we'll keep swinging here until we go down. Oh, somehow I managed to survive that fight. I'll probably die down here, but yeah, I mean, if you can get to a food barrel, they space these barrels out pretty good, so you can get food again and get a little bunch of your health back. There's just a lot of little things in this game, show a lot of nuance, show a pretty good thought process. So you get a certain number of lives per dungeon. If you don't make it through in the lives that you have, you basically fail the dungeon. You go back to the lobby. So it's hard. It's a hard game at certain points, but I think it's pretty well designed, and I think it's difficult in a good way in that it pushes you to learn your character class better, to learn the combat maneuvers better, to pay attention to what's going on around you. Make sure your facing is correct. Now, shift lock does help a little bit with facing. It doesn't do too much, but I think it makes it a little bit more. At least for me, it seems a little bit less. When you're in these square, like these corners, um, these diagonal corners, your facing seems to be a little bit less fluid, I guess, movement, and that might just be a perception. I don't know. It seems like it's better when you've got the shift lock on. So I could have done that earlier. It might have helped a little bit. But in general, I just got to give this guy props. I think he's done a fantastic job. The developers on this have done a fantastic job, and so far I'm enjoying it. You know what? We're going to give us a little bit more defense. I think that was part of what I was missing. So I'm trying to build a tank build. Um, try this Cavalier sword now that we're up to it. Ooh, that looks fantastic. Excited to try that. What's my damage look like? Oh, it went up considerably. Okay. And my dexterity went up considerably. So, nice. A couple other things on this game. For upgrades, like for gems are pretty cheap to upgrade for the most part. At least they scale well with your level. So I want to put an upgrade into this gym. I just got it at 24. It came out of the quarry that I was just in, and it costs, for the first one, for the third upgrade, it costs 2168. They scale, the upgrades scale with the levels, and I think they scale in a way that's very doable. You can afford it. It's not gonna break the bank. You can come over here. You can sell all the gear that you're not gonna use between every dungeon. That's pretty much what I do typically, except for stuff that's going to be a direct upgrade. Obviously, that I'm not going to sell. So we'll sell this stuff because it's not an upgrade. Now, if you want to, you can go down here too on the left-hand side of the lobby and go to the premium shop, mainly just to buy, if you have some Robux to spend, you can buy the cosmetics. I actually have the full cosmetic set, so I can show it to you guys. I did put that into it just so you guys could see what the warrior cosmetic looks like. Let me put that on. Equip, equip, equip. Just so you can see what it looks like on an actual model, and because I think it's kind of cool. So yeah, see? Now I look like a knight in shining armor. So my attack speed's pretty slow. Obviously, I want to make that higher. I need to get higher attack speed. I can do that as I go up. For right now, I'm kind of focusing on defense and health a little bit, which I know kind of is contrary in a lot of Roblox games. You really don't have to mess with health that much. Like if you like Elemental Dungeons, for example, if you're in there, you don't have to mess with health much. But that's because the mobs really don't move much. The AI difference in this compared to something like that, I feel like the mob AI for this is really good. It's extremely good as far as how quickly they are to adjust to your tactics, and for what this is. Oh, let me see. So let's go into a dungeon that's a little bit easier. We're gonna play solo again. I am gonna get some party gameplay up. So now that I've gone through all this, I can play solo. I can play on endless mode, or I can play on hard. Maybe I'll try endless mode to see if I can get some uh, goodies out of endless mode. Because at 18, stuff's still probably gonna be, especially if it's legendary, it's still gonna be a benefit to me, an upgrade potentially, other than for my sword. So you guys will be able to see how different the scaling is, right? When I'm like on my level. As you guys can see, I'm just smacking this stuff and it just dies. It's not bad. Big guys die with one hit. So one thing about endless mode, if you want, you can go in here and just try shift lock for a bit. Just go in here and farm some goods. You don't get a lot, but every once in a while these guys drop loot. Seems like most of it's greens. But for selling, like right now, what I'm finding is I need a little bit more gold to do stuff like skill upgrades. So I'm working on that. Just trying to get my guy where he needs to be. I'm not gonna say mouse one attacks are useless, but they're definitely not as effective in my opinion as mouse two or your heavy attack essentially. If you just have a single mob to take out or something like that, they're fine. But yeah, if you guys want a game tip, stay out of the poison. Okay, it's true in Diablo, it's true in here. Stay out of poison. Poison is bad. Fire's bad. Poison's bad. I really need some food. Oh, there we go. As I say it, it appears. Okay, that was my sword throw. It's my heavy attack. Or I should say that's my ground quake. That's my heavy attack. Ground quake. And if you manage to get the bomb guys to drop their bombs like that, they can drop them right on a big group of mobs and do damage. So it's kind of easier if you're a ranged class for sure, but still doable as a warrior. And I gotta say, I'm liking this legendary. It cuts through this stuff like a hot knife through butter. It looks like a hot knife. Or a hot sword, I should say. So I don't really necessarily want to play this too long because I've got friends that were kind of grinding up levels. So just play for a couple minutes to get some footage for you guys. Maybe get into the next wave. But yeah, we'll reset one more time. Oh, this is the boss. Okay, well, let's see what this. Before I leave, let's see what this boss looks like. Okay, so he looks like the first treasure boss. Looks like first treasure room. He's got the fire attack of the third boss. See now, watch this animation, guys. This is pretty crazy animation for a Roblox game. And I'm getting my butt stomped again. I didn't realize I'd have a boss fight, or I would have stayed in longer. If I die here, I die. Oh my gosh, how did I miss that fire? How did he miss with the fire? Oh, ow, I thought I was off the fire. I guess not. Oh, and right into the spike trap. Yeah, perfect. But yeah, it's my first time in endless mode. Pretty entertaining. So if I guess if I wanted to summarize what I think of this game right now, or why I like this game in Roblox, I would say that Altered Online has a lot of good things. It has great party play with up to 4 people. It has fantastic particle effects. It has pretty stable and nice, I guess, pretty graphics, I guess, for Roblox, definitely. And it has great mob AI, and it has a grading difficulty scale that goes up um, with each level, with each dungeon, and it can be a pretty steep curve, which I like. I like in these kind of games, I like the curve to be a little steep. And I think they balance that really well. I don't think it's too much. I think it's right where it should be, but I do think there's a bit of a climb as you get to higher dungeon. Other than that, character models look really good. Is there anything else that I've left out? Loot system is pretty good. I would just say is good, I guess. And the upgrade system, at least as far as things like gems go, that you're gonna keep, for the entire level of that dungeon that you're in. That system seems to work pretty good too, in the sense that the cost scaling is right where it should be for the amount of gold you're getting from selling junk and from doing dungeons. So all in all, I see a lot of thought has been put into this, and I would urge anybody who enjoys hack and slash games, who happens to have Roblox and has never tried anything like this on here, give this a shot. Give this game a shot. It's pretty quick to get into. It's just simplistic fun. It's not overly complicated, and these kind of games really shouldn't be. So I hope you guys have a great evening, and I hope you give it a shot. And I will catch you on the next one. Take care, guys.